When you run, you have problems in your groin. You notice, especially when your leg goes back, that it pulls in there. That might be your hip flexor. And how can you run normally again? How can you get this pain under control? With our Liebscher and Bracht exercises, I'll show you that right now. Ina, come on, I'll show you the exercise. Watch closely how Ina does it. I'll guide you through. Please find a wall where you can lean against it for just a tiny bit. And then we are going to start things off with your right foot. Your right foot goes back just a little bit, maybe just about half a step or so. And now you push your hips forward, move your left foot a little further forward, and you bring your hips forward too. And then you will notice as you brace yourself against the wall and push back that you feel that exact same pull in your right groin that you also feel while you are walking, the one that bothers you. And that's how you know we're right at the source of the problem, because if we stretch this out now, the issue will keep fading as the muscle can then yield while you're walking. That means that you're going into an intensity now that you can still just about endure well. Is that right, Ina? Just about bearable? You'll know because it's still a good kind of pain. You're not so stressed that you're just forced to endure it. None of that should happen during stretching. Stretching should be fun. It hurts a little, but in a good way, and that active holiday feeling should definitely go along with this particular exercise. That way you'll do it long term and can help yourself long term. Now you keep moving further back. Feel it in your groin. Adjust it accordingly, and then you just wait for it to give in. We're simply pulling on what's too short, and the body is a biological system of cells. It gives way. The structure will move eventually. And when you feel it moving, you move your groin a bit further forward and push yourself a bit further back. And then you can quite nicely, fully in a very effective way, work out the right hip flexor as well as various other hip flexing muscles as well. Okay? And now we are also going to reinforce what we have just been stretching. That means that you stay standing exactly as you are. But now, try to use the actual power of your hips to bring those shoulders of yours all the way forward. But you're bracing yourself against the wall, so you can't do it. You'll stay motionless, and that's exactly right. Now we're going a bit further again. So tensing up increases your stretch, making the exercise more valuable for you. And once again, you want to push forward. Using the strength of your groin right out of the hip. Actually tighten your hip flexor right now, relax, and go a little bit deeper into the stretch. And once more, push against it again. Ina's really pushing hard. It's okay if you're shaking a bit if that's the case. No problem at all. That shows the muscles are really working hard, and the more they work, the better the effect will be, and then relax once again. And now try to let go of the wall and actively overextend yourself just a little bit more towards the back. To the right side. And now it's being saved because your body's now controlling it and doing it itself. And then slowly come back out of the position. I'd be really interested to hear how this exercise felt for you, how you experienced it, and whether you were able to trigger exactly the pain. That's supposed to be triggered. Just as I've said earlier on, that you had exactly that very same feeling while you were out running, which you have now just managed to trigger once again. And now we will do the exact same on the other side, because the other side wants to be stretched out too. Now move your right foot until it is just right. Your left foot is back, right foot is in front. Exactly right, and now concentrate on it, pushing your left groin forward while practically pushing your torso back in the opposite direction. You should feel the stretch in the hip joints axis. It's an incredibly intense Liebscher and Bracht exercise, which allows you to really pulled specifically on this one side. It's a bit more efficient, of course, than stretching both sides at the same time, because the hip flexor is such a massive muscle. That's quite a lot. You really need to be well prepared to tackle it with the right exercise so that you actually get the desired effect. Keep going deeper, find that intensity again. Adjust it so it's just about bearable, just still a feel-good pain. Don't go too hard, okay? So you don't lose the fun of the exercise. And then we'll strengthen exactly that part which is currently being stretched right now. And more specifically, it works like this. You are pushing your shoulder forward using the strength coming from your pelvis, but you are holding against it so that no movement actually occurs at all. Then you relax once again and go a little bit further into the overextension, and once more you push against it again. Really push quite hard against it, then relax once more and go even further into the stretch. Do not do it too hard, but not too little either. That is the actual trick. Do it for about 2 minutes, give or take, perhaps even a little bit longer, and then exactly this counter tension, and then at the end, what we have also been doing, stretching into it actively once again, as well as the passive stretching. That's the mix that brings success. It's the same system for all Liebscher and Bracht exercises, just for different parts of the body. So now let go, and actively overextend a little bit more. And now our brain is saving it again. The brain really does want to be changed. The muscles on the back and the front of your body, they are communicating now. How do we best align the hip joint? How do we set it all up so that the hip can function at its absolute best? And then you slowly come back out again. Okay, and now we're going to do something really special. Really important too. First, sit down on the chair, Ina. I was on the floor. Please sit down on the chair. And go ahead and grab the mini ball from our foam roller massage set. If you don't happen to have it yet, then just use a similar ball instead. It could also be made out of wood or rubber from a dog toy. Just something of roughly this size. And now it's getting a little tricky. Watch closely. Take the ball in your hand, Ina. And now, take a very precise and exact measurement of where your groin is located, and then you move from there. Yeah, it is rather subtle. The groin is a bit lower. From here you go from the inside out until you have actually covered about 1/3 of the leg when it is viewed from the top. And then you press with the ball I'm showing you in this direction, right into the muscles, and feel whether you can find a spot that is sensitive. Can you feel that right there? Then you press right down on it and move it around a bit. Yeah, move in circles, but you stay exactly on the very same spot. Very good. And your body actually guides you through this whole process because the specific area that you are pressing on reacts in a painful way, but it really has to be at a level that is not too intense, but also not too light. So just like it is with the exercises, yeah, it should just be what we call a feel-good pain. Always make sure that you stay right on this exact spot, and if you notice that a bit to the right, left, up or down from there you feel even more, then adjust it just a little bit more, because the more sensitive this area is, the more it's exactly where the hip flexor runs right into the thigh area. And when it attaches down there, it can lift the leg, because that's where it's attached. And that's exactly the point we need, because that's where receptors are. What are receptors? They are like little sensors that whenever you press down on them, we call them alarm pain receptors. And those, according to the way we explain it, have an effect on the brain. The brain then changes the tension levels and finally relaxes the entire muscle once more. This essentially makes it a real booster for the exercises. Now that you have relaxed this muscle, it lifts quite smoothly while running and doesn't complain or pull one bit. Now we are going to do exactly the very same thing on the other side as well. Step forward to about stride length again. Begin in the first third, maybe a little further toward the outside. Move it slightly outwards and find that exact spot once again. And do it thoroughly, because it's definitely worth it. This is exactly what our therapists who offer this therapy in their practices everywhere do as well. The therapy is called Liebscher-Bracht therapy, and this manual technique is known as osteopressure. This spot pressure massage, which is being used to demonstrate to the patient right away. Once the muscle relaxes, then your pain will certainly start to decrease. That usually happens during the first treatment. Yeah, press really nice and hard against it. Roll it a little bit, move it a little bit. And be sure to not do it way too much, but not too little either. Okay. Now let's go ahead and expand on this. We're going to use the midi roll now. If you don't happen to have one yet, you can also use a round plastic bottle with a little bit of water in it. Now, if you would be so very kind as to please go right ahead and just take a seat right down on the mat for me, Ina. Right into the groin. There is a muscle, specifically part of this big one, the quadriceps, which also functions as a hip flexor, and that is exactly the one we are relaxing right now. This is most definitely going to help you to achieve even more progress. Press down nice and intensely, really quite firmly, and just keep on going further and even further back there. And as you keep on rolling even further towards your groin, then you can also open yourself up a bit, lean back just a little bit so that you have more room to get in there, and maybe even rest it down right at the very end. Exactly, and then keep rolling to the hip bone, feel the hip bone, until just below it. Okay, and the same thing again on the other side. And if you use a plastic bottle, that's also quite good because it gives way exactly in the spot where the bone is. That's why we have this circular indentation here. But a plastic bottle also works well because it gives way slightly so the pressure isn't too strong while still creating a similar effect. Very good. Nice and slow, and we only roll in just one single direction, always towards the heart and as firmly as possible and very slowly so that we can catch as many of these receptors as possible and so that we also boost the whole metabolism by squeezing through the interstitial fluid. That is the whole idea, so that all the waste products are flushed away and fresh nutrients can flow back in and properly supply the cells. Very good. So, we are all finished here. You want to do even more to get rid of that hip pain as quickly as possible? You want to get even more information, more of those great Liebscher-Bracht exercises? Then you can simply subscribe to our channel or check out our website, which is full of valuable information. Go on, seize the moment.